Hello, New York Yankees fans. We have brand new exclusive videos and the latest news for you. Before we get started, we'd like to invite you to join our channel and give this video a like. It's crucial to get exclusive access to the latest updates. The baseball world woke up today in complete disbelief as the New York Yankees made an announcement that feels like something out of video game rather than the real world. Pete Alonso, the iconic slugger and face of the New York Mets, has officially crossed over to the Bronx Bombers. This move is shaking the very foundation of Major League Baseball because it represents not only a massive roster shift, but also a cultural earthquake in the city of New York. For years, Alonso has been the symbol of Mets pride, the player fans look to for hope, power, and identity. Now, suddenly, he will put on the pinstripes of their fiercest crosstown rival. Fans, analysts, and even former players are stunned, trying to piece together how this deal came to be and what it means for the future of both franchises. This is more than just a trade or signing. It is a bold declaration of intent by the Yankees to reclaim absolute dominance in the league and remind everyone that they are willing to go further than anyone else to get the stars they want. No matter the history, no matter the rivalry, no matter the noise surrounding the decision. The buzz around this deal began as whispers late last night, with vague tweets from insiders suggesting the Yankees were cooking something historic. Nobody, however, believed it would actually materialize into this blockbuster reality. For decades, Mets and Yankees fans have joked about impossible swaps, always underlining the fact that these two franchises rarely do business at this level, particularly when it involves a player who is not just talented, but the very heart and soul of the Mets' identity. Alonso was not simply another power bat. He was the polar bear, the man who carried Citi Field on his broad shoulders, thrilling crowds with tape measure home runs and unapologetic energy. Now, Mets fans are left to question whether their front office has waved a white flag, or whether Alonso himself pushed for a chance to chase championships in a more star-studded environment. Meanwhile, Yankees fans are salivating at the thought of Alonso stepping into that right-handed batter's box in Yankee Stadium. With a short porch in right field suddenly feels tailor-made for his swing, potentially elevating his already fearsome power numbers to legendary levels. What makes this news even more electrifying is the timing. The Yankees have been under immense pressure after several seasons that failed to live up to the enormous expectations of their fans and their legacy. Adding Pete Alonso is more than just adding a bat. It is injecting a shock of adrenaline into the franchise and sending a message to the rest of the league that the Yankees are done waiting. They want to win, and they want to win now. The deal itself has layers that are still being unpacked, with reports suggesting a massive financial commitment from the Yankees, possibly stretching into record-setting territory. Insiders claim the Mets will receive a package of young talent in return, but at this moment, no detail can overshadow the headline itself. Pete Alonso in pinstripes. That sentence alone has thrown both fan bases into a frenzy. On talk radio, Mets fans are calling in heartbroken, while Yankee supporters are declaring that the dynasty era is on its way back. The city of New York, always divided by orange and blue versus navy and white, now finds itself in the middle of a storm of emotions that feels like it could define an entire generation of baseball memories. From the perspective of baseball culture, this moment is monumental. Alonso leaving the Mets to join the Yankees feels like Derek Jeter wearing a Red Sox uniform or David Ortiz suiting up for the Yankees. It cuts that deep because Alonso's identity has been intertwined with the Mets' modern era. He was their homegrown hero, their most marketable star, their crowd favorite in every sense. The Mets had made him the centerpiece of promotional campaigns, jerseys, and long-term plans. And now, all of that has been shattered in an instant. Social media exploded within minutes of the announcement, with hashtags like hashtag #PolarBearInPinstripes and hashtag MetsHeartbreak trending simultaneously. The memes, the shock, the outrage, all of it points to one truth. This is not just a player changing teams. This is a shift in the emotional landscape of baseball's biggest market. And while Mets fans may feel betrayed, there is an undeniable sense of drama that will fuel attendance, viewership, and endless debates for months to come. Whether you love it or hate it, the story of Alonso's leap across the city will be told for decades. One of the most fascinating aspects of this bombshell is how Alonso himself will navigate this transition. The man has built his reputation on being loyal to his fans, embracing the Mets community, and wearing his passion on his sleeve. Stepping into the Yankees clubhouse, he will instantly face a different kind of pressure, one that comes not only from performance, but from the weight of expectation in an organization defined by its championship or bust mentality. Alonso is no stranger to pressure, but there is a difference between hitting home runs for the underdog Mets and doing it under the lights of Yankee Stadium, where every swing, every at-bat, every strikeout is magnified. Yet, for a competitor of Alonso's caliber, perhaps this is exactly the challenge he craved. The opportunity to etch his name alongside legends like Ruth, Gehrig, Mantle, and Judge is something no other franchise can offer. The question now becomes, will he thrive in the pinstripes and elevate his already impressive career, or will the weight of the rivalry and expectations prove too much, turning this fairy tale into a cautionary tale? The immediate fallout for the Mets cannot be overstated. For years, the organization has fought to establish its own identity separate from the shadow of the Yankees, and Alonso was their flag bearer in that mission. Losing him to the very team they have tried to outshine is a gut punch that goes beyond wins and losses. It is a statement to fans that the Mets may still struggle to hold on to their brightest stars when the Yankees decide to flex their financial might. For the players left in the Mets clubhouse, this will test their resilience, their unity, and their belief in the front office's vision. Fans will demand answers, and management will have to explain why a player like Alonso was allowed to slip away to their most hated rival. Was it money? Was Alonso's decision? Was it part of a larger rebuilding plan? The truth may eventually emerge, but for now, the optics are devastating. Citi Field will never feel quite the same without the polar bear at first base, and that absence will echo through every game this season. Meanwhile, the Yankees are reveling in their coup. The sight of Alonso standing next to Aaron Judge on the lineup card is enough to terrify pitching staffs across the league. Two of the most feared sluggers in baseball, wearing the same uniform, stepping to the plate back-to-back. That is the stuff of nightmares for opponents and pure euphoria for Yankees fans. The possibilities are endless. Towering home runs, packed stadiums, record-breaking ticket sales, and perhaps even a run at a new championship dynasty. As the dust begins to settle, one thing is clear. This story is far from over. Rumors are already swirling about the long-term implications of this move, from potential ripple effects in free agency to how the Mets plan to rebrand themselves in the absence of their star. Some insiders believe this deal could ignite a new era of arms race between the two New York teams, pushing both franchises into bold, aggressive strategies to outdo one another. Others think this may be the spark that reignites the intensity of the Subway Series, turning every Yankees-Mets matchup into a must-watch spectacle with emotions running higher than ever. What's undeniable is that this moment will define the 2025 season before the first pitch is even thrown. Fans across the league, whether in New York or beyond, will watch closely to see how Pete Alonso adapts to life in pinstripes, and how the Mets attempt to move forward without him. In the end, this move is not just about baseball. It is about identity, rivalry, and the power of a single player to change the narrative of an entire sport. The story of Pete Alonso joining the Yankees is quickly morphing into one of the most debated events in modern baseball history. What makes this saga even more gripping is the uncertainty surrounding Alonso's state of mind. Some insiders whisper that the slugger had grown frustrated with the Mets' inability to deliver consistent playoff contention, despite his heroics year after year. They suggest Alonso wanted the bright lights, the guaranteed big-stage moments, and the deep October runs that the Yankees seem perpetually closer to achieving. Others argue it was all about money, claiming the Yankees offered a financial package that blew away anything the Mets were prepared to put on the table. Yet, regardless of motive, Alonso's move redefines his career. Instead of being the symbol of grit for an underdog franchise, he is now part of the empire, expected to deliver championships rather than just hope. The narrative will follow him every step of the way, with every at-bat scrutinized through the lens of betrayal or glory. For Mets fans, every home run Alonso hits in pinstripes will sting. For Yankees fans, each swing will feel like validation that their team still rules the baseball world. The cultural weight of this move cannot be overstated, because baseball in New York has always been about identity as much as performance. Mets fans see themselves as the scrappy underdogs, the working-class fan base that lives in contrast to the polished corporate feel of Yankee dominance. Alonso was the perfect mascot for that culture. Approachable, passionate, and unafraid to connect with fans in ways that felt genuine. Seeing him in a Yankees uniform is like watching your childhood friend suddenly join the rival crew across town. The betrayal isn't just about baseball. It's emotional, almost personal. On sports talk shows, hosts are describing this as one of the greatest betrayals in the city's sporting history, while fans vent on social media about burning jerseys and swearing never to forgive. Yankees fans, meanwhile, are embracing the chaos. They love the idea of stealing the heart of the Mets, not just beating them on the field, but crushing their very identity by taking away their beloved star. It's ruthless, it's cold, and it's exactly the type of move that cements the Yankees as both villains and icons of the sport. Financially, this deal might reshape the entire market for sluggers across Major League Baseball. Alonso reportedly signed a mega contract that could rival or even surpass the richest deals ever given to a first baseman. That number alone, once officially released, will reset expectations for future free agents, creating ripple effects for teams planning to extend or pursue power hitters in upcoming offseasons. The Yankees, already known for writing some of the biggest checks in the game, have doubled down on their philosophy that stars sell tickets, stars win championships, and stars are worth every penny. Meanwhile, smaller market teams are shaking their heads, realizing that deals like this widen the gap between the haves and have-nots of baseball. For the Mets, the financial optics are brutal. Their willingness to let Alonso slip away to their crosstown rival makes them look either unwilling or incapable of competing at the highest level of spending. It sends a dangerous message to their fans. If we won't keep Alonso, who will we keep? That shadow will loom over every negotiation the Mets conduct from this day forward, as agents and players alike question the franchise's ambition. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. Inside the Yankees clubhouse, the arrival of Alonso is already generating chatter about chemistry and hierarchy. Aaron Judge, the undisputed leader of the team, has been nothing but welcoming publicly, calling Alonso a monster of a hitter and expressing excitement about what they can accomplish together. Still, beneath the surface, some observers are wondering how two such powerful presences will coexist. Will Alonso embrace being part of a lineup where Judge's voice carries the loudest weight? Or will he push to carve out his own leadership role, potentially creating subtle tensions? The Yankees are famous for blending stars, but even in their storied history, few lineups have had this much raw power concentrated in a single roster. The media circus that follows these two sluggers will be relentless, and every interaction, every press conference, every joint interview will be dissected for hints of unity or division. Yet, for now, the narrative is overwhelmingly positive, and Yankees fans are already dreaming of the Judge-Alonso duo as one of the most feared tandems since the days of Mantle and Maris. It's a dream that could turn into dominance if both players deliver on expectations. The Mets fan base, though, is spiraling into heartbreak mixed with anger, and the effects of Alonso's departure are spilling into every corner of the team's culture. Citi Field feels like it has lost its soul, and season ticket holders are reportedly calling the front office demanding answers or even refunds. The merchandise stands that once overflowed with Alonso jerseys, bobbleheads, and posters now look like relics of an era that ended overnight. Commentators are drawing parallels to other infamous departures in sports history, like LeBron James leaving Cleveland the first time or Wayne Gretzky being traded from Edmonton. The pain is magnified because Alonso didn't just leave. He left for the enemy, making every Subway Series game an emotional roller coaster that will either feel like vengeance or salt in the wound. Already, social media is filling with campaigns urging fans to boo Alonso mercilessly when he first steps into the batter's box at Citi Field in pinstripes. For Mets fans, this betrayal cuts deeper than losses in the standings. It challenges their loyalty, their identity, and their ability to believe in their team's long-term vision. This is not just sports. This is heartbreak disguised as headlines. From a league-wide perspective, Alonso's move adds fuel to baseball's biggest narrative engine, drama. MLB has long sought ways to captivate audiences beyond the die-hard fan base, and blockbuster stories like this do exactly that. Suddenly, national outlets that rarely cover baseball outside of playoffs are running with Alonso to the Yankees headlines. Networks are already planning to highlight every Yankees-Mets matchup as a must-watch rivalry event, turning even regular season games into primetime showcases. Alonso's crossover could also inspire other star players to reconsider their loyalty to franchises that fail to surround them with championship-caliber rosters. If the Yankees can lure away the heart of the Mets, then no team is truly safe. Executives around the league will be watching closely to see how this plays out, because the ripple effect of one player's move might alter how stars negotiate contracts, how teams handle extensions, and how the power balance of baseball evolves in the years to come. Alonso's leap across town is not just a story of one player switching teams. It's a story that could reshape the future of the sport itself. For Alonso himself, the challenge ahead will be unlike anything he has faced before. The Yankees are not a franchise that tolerates mediocrity or long adjustment periods. From the moment he steps onto the field in the Bronx, every fan will expect towering home runs, game-changing performances, and a presence that elevates the entire lineup. The media spotlight in New York is already intense, but wearing pinstripes amplifies it tenfold, and Alonso will have to adjust to a level of scrutiny that could either refine him into a legend or expose cracks in his game. Every strikeout will be magnified, every slump will be debated endlessly, and every playoff performance will be remembered forever. But for a competitor like Alonso, this might be exactly the crucible he wanted. If he can thrive in this environment, he won't just be remembered as the polar bear of the Mets. He'll be remembered as one of the great Yankees sluggers, joining a pantheon of legends that spans more than a century. The reward is immense, but so is the risk. In New York, heroes are made, but just as quickly, they can fall. As the first wave of shock begins to give way to anticipation, all eyes turn to the schedule. The next Subway Series is already being circled in red ink by fans, media, and players alike. Those games will not just be baseball, they will be theater, high drama on the diamond. Alonso returning to Queens in pinstripes will be one of the most charged moments in sports this year, with boos raining down, cameras flashing, and emotions running higher than ever before. The anticipation alone is enough to sell out stadiums and dominate headlines weeks before first pitch. It is the ultimate test of loyalty, rivalry, and the raw emotions that make sports more than just a game. Whether Alonso thrives or struggles in that atmosphere, those moments will define him and this deal in the minds of millions. At the end of the day, this is why people love baseball. Not just for the hits, runs, and wins, but for the drama, the betrayals, the rivalries, and the unforgettable stories that get passed down from one generation to the next. Pete Alonso to the Yankees is one of those stories, and it has only just begun. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.